Memphis, you're totally screwed. Well, thanks for watching Numbskull News. And today, no, Memphis isn't screwed. But the road may be a little tough for them. Now, this is going to be a Get It Gang video brought to you by Foodie Memphis. I appreciate you, Foodie. But before we get to Memphis, we have to kind of set the table. So let's talk about the pack, the future of the pack. They've tried to get Memphis and Tulane and people like that and have been rebuffed. I'll get to that shortly on why that is. But so they're kind of going after Texas State. Now, I think, look, they could have really went after them a while back ago. These aren't and should not be, 6-8 month, year-long discussions. But what they've tried to do is go after Memphis, try to work out something with UNLV. They try to do everything possible to get that eighth school that's a little bit higher up the food chain than Texas State. And Texas State has always been kind of like in their hip pocket. Break in case of emergency. If we have to add you, we'll add you to get to the 8 teams. But, so if nothing else works out, Texas State. And then, of course, they try to play cheap with Texas State. That's what the whole soup reference, what was it, their AD or president or whoever the hell was like, hey, some people enjoy a half bowl of soup. I want a whole bowl of soup, talking about we're going to get a full share out of the pack if we're going. He's got leverage, all right, because are you going to start going lower levels than that to get to the 8th team? Sacramento State, who wants to come up from FCS? You see what I'm saying? You're better off with the Bobcats, and the Bobcats know it. They're willing to bet on that. And why not? You got upheaval coming in the future, especially in the ACC. Anything can happen. They can end up getting a call up to the American, which is not going to be making too much less money than the pack. So what'll happen is the pack will have to acquiesce and add that 8th school. It'll be Texas State on a full share. Now to the why Memphis is rebuffing the Pac-12. Now, a lot of people say, well, they're not offering enough money. The pack isn't offering enough money. It's a pretty hefty buyout there in the American. For Memphis or for Tulane, South Florida, anybody. It's not cheap. So that's one reason. And maybe the pack wasn't wanting to unass a ton of money to get Memphis. But the real reason, and I've speculated about this before, Memphis, these people aren't stupid. All right, they know all hell is going to break loose with the ACC when they start losing their big brands. They're going to lose more teams than you think. They'll be forced to backfill, and Memphis is the top of that list. Now, as far as after 2036, what does the ACC money situation look like? I don't know. It'd probably be pretty similar to the pack. So for travel purposes, Memphis going to a depleted ACC as a backfill option, that's better for them. Because it's going to be similar money to what this new Pac-12 is going to get. So it kind of works out. As a matter of fact, they may make a little more money on the way to that, depending on when they get added. So if they get added in 2031, let's say, or 2032, they got several years of making quite a bit more money than a Pac school would. They could pocket that. So it works out for Memphis. So to them, why go to the new pack if you can go to what will be the new ACC, a relook ACC, mostly of G5 and a few people that got left out going to one of the other big 3 conferences? I have noticed some of you good people out there, you have subscribed. You've listened. That's very comforting to me. But there's still a few. Yeah, I'm talking to you. There's still a few of you out there that just refuse to hit the button. Do it. That little button down there. It's right there. You know you want to rub on it, so do it. Subscribe. But now we got to get to the second part of Foodie Memphis's Get It Gang suggestion, which is, can you have a best of the rest type of conference, right? ACC, Pac-12, these other G5 conferences, can they all work together? If you think about what some of the things that have been reported recently, especially the Dennis Dodd article that he dropped, I think it's going to be his last one. Anyway, I'm going to do a video, probably a couple of videos covering that whole article. So, but if you take some of the elements that he was talking about and apply that to the G5, Pac-12, the future new ACC depleted conference, that makes a lot of sense for that group. You're talking different tiers of pay. And first of all, you have everybody, all the group of five, Pac-12, ACC, and they all negotiate their media rights together. One conglomerate. That would equal more money for everybody. And I know people get tripped up. Well, how is this going to be more money? Well, Dennis Dodd talks about it. The future is streaming, and it's not just ESPN Plus streaming or Paramount Plus or Peacock. You're talking Amazon, you're talking Netflix, you're talking Apple, you're talking Google, you're talking monster companies, worth trillions of dollars, well more than Disney or Fox or WBD or NBC or CBS. They could buy and sell all of those media organizations over and over again. So when they decide to go whole hog into sports, there's going to be a big nasty change. So there's a lot of prep going on for that. But on this level, I think it would be way easier for everybody to kind of get out of their entanglements, work together, negotiate media rights together. And in that conglomerate, this new Pac-12, the future ACC, will actually be two dominant conferences within that, Memphis being a part of that new ACC. And then you can have different tier structures, each tier paying their schools more, right? So you got the top shelf level, whatever that money would be. Let's say, I don't know. Let's just call it the top, the very tippy top. Let's say they pay $35 million a school. Let's say it's 35. Let's say it's 40. Let's go nuts. Let's say the top shelf brands there are 40 million. Tier 2 would be, let's say, 25. And let's say the bottom tier is 10. All right, and there's regulation depending on wins and losses. Like I said, it's kind of a smaller version of the Rudy, that whole Rudy plan. Or what the hell is it called? The Rudy something. The Rudy Super League. Except you're doing it on the G5 level with the Pac and the ACC. That would be something really fun and be valuable. And something that Memphis themselves, the school of Memphis, could really benefit from. Because they're not afraid, and they got a big time corporate sponsor in FedEx. They're not afraid to invest at a high level. They could do really well. Could one day they find themselves, on the next level, maybe in the Big 12 or part of whatever machination of that upper tiers? I don't know. I kind of doubt it. And like I said, this is like if a Super League doesn't happen among the Power Four. Okay. There's a chance of that happening, but it may not be for another decade, another 20 years plus. This is just, all these conferences stay separate. But what can you do on this lower level to generate more revenue? The same things that are being bandied about the Power Four, you can do on this level. and generate more revenue and generate more interest. And I think that would be hellaciously fun. You could do geographic pods too, so that, you're not killing yourself with travel, because the money's not going to be as great as it is on other levels. I think it works out great. I think a streamer would be, imagine you get like a big fat, let's say, let me just guess here. Someone like Apple decides to pay for that. Right? Let's say Apple decides to pay for that, but also maybe Fox and ESPN get, they license some of that content so they can, because they need some of that content as well. You're going to get multiple bidders on this. And not really bidding against each other, but everybody wanting some of that content. Because yes, even on the group of 5 level, the new pack level, whatever that new ACC level is going to look like, on this level, there's still value, there's still viewership, there's still people wanting and needing that content. Period. Content is king, especially in streaming, and that's the future. This thing can provide a lot of content. Is it the biggest eyeballs? It isn't. But structured in a way with relegation. In football, have your own kind of tournament amongst everybody. Because you still have all the separate conferences, but they negotiate together, they work together. So to have a tournament amongst everybody, that would be pretty damn cool. And I think you could generate real revenue with that. So the opportunities for schools like Memphis to really mean something and put their mark on the sports landscape, it's still there. You don't have to be at the upper echelon. You don't have to be in the SEC. You don't have to be in the Big Ten to be somebody. To put players in the NFL, to put players in the NBA, to put players in Major League Baseball. You don't have to, it didn't have to go that route. You don't have to do that. You do it your own way. You want to leave us behind? Fine. We'll build our own kingdom. That's what could happen. And Memphis being a pivotal part of that. Dark days. Woo. This dystopian future that's coming. No, things are changing. If you ask me, they're changing for the better. Memphis can be a part of something truly exciting on this level. And, I truly hope it plays out like that. Thanks for Foodie Memphis. Thanks for the Get It Gang suggestion. And every once in a while, I'm still going to do this kind of thing. Just pay some homage to Gold and Blue Dude. What a great idea. The Get It Gang. Anyway, thanks for watching this crap, and I'll be back with some more crap later. Bye.